Well, hello there, tankers of the Blitz universe. I'm Flossie, and today I will be reviewing probably the hardest tank destroyer in the entire game to play and do well in, the 4005. Now, this absolute monstrosity has some very, very weird characteristics that I will break into a little bit more later, and sort of how it's played. It's very, very strange, and yeah. But anyways, let's get into the stats first. Starting off with the tank's gun. It has a 4-shell auto-loading gun that deals like upwards of 1,600 damage if you can get all your shells out. And as for the alpha damage, so to get up to that 1,600 damage, you are going to be dealing 410 damage on your standard shells, 350 on the premium, and 500 on the HE. So yeah, if you're able to get HE shells out, that's like a bonus, man. You're going to be doing so much damage. Yeah. As for the penetration, it's 305 on the standard, 388 on the premium, and 72 on the HE. Now, I am using calibrated shells because on a tank like this, I feel like vents is completely useless, and I recommend no one use that if you're going to be playing in this tank. The premium pen's actually pretty decent, and especially because it's APCR, you're not going to have any issues with cutting through things like spaced armor, and yeah, overall, I think it's very, very nice. In terms of the gun's accuracy, however, this is where things get a little bit strange. So you can see here, the aim time of 3.9 seconds and the dispersion of 0.293 is actually pretty solid. However, because this thing is a auto-loader, your reload in between shells is actually faster than your aim time. So what you're going to find is you're going to just keep spamming the fire button to shoot all of your shells right as soon as you can. But because your aim time is longer than your actual shell interclip, your bloom, you're basically, your gun's going to disperse after you shoot your shell like it normally does on all your tanks. And then it's not going to aim in fast enough to kind of get max accuracy again. So sometimes your shells, especially your third or fourth shell, will often just miss because the gun will be very troll, especially if you don't fully aim in. So yeah, that's one thing to note about this tank. But if you do hit all 4 of your shells, you are going to absolutely roll your opponents. The tank also does have 10 degrees of gun depression. And that's extremely nice, especially for how tall this tank is. You want to have a lot of gun depression to even get your gun down enough to see your opponents. The only thing is, I normally don't talk about this statistic a lot because it's not usually that noteworthy, but this thing has only 8 degrees of gun elevation. So if you're shooting people above you, sometimes what you'll find is the gun doesn't go up high enough to actually hit anyone, and that's a pretty big issue, especially on hillier maps, like, let's say, you're on Castilla or Mines, and someone's above you, then good luck hitting them, because you won't be able to get your gun up enough. So that's also something to note, be careful with that. In terms of the mobility, this tank goes 40 forwards and 10 in reverse. Yeah, that reverse speed is actually awful. 10 reverse speed means that if you put yourself in a compromising position front line, you are basically screwed because there's no way for you to back out fast enough to avoid getting shot at. And as for the hull traverse rate, it's okay. The thing does have a turret as well, so I mean, combined with the turret traverse rate, it's okay. A lot of light tanks will be able to outflank you, and because of how tall you are, they'll actually be able to just get to your side, and then you won't be able to get your gun down enough. And yeah, so that's a big issue with this thing. But overall, mobility is very nice going forward, horrible going in reverse, and okay when you're traversing. Now, another thing to note is this tank has its turret doesn't traverse all the way around 180 degrees. So you can only turn it to a certain amount either way, left or right. So you really have to be careful when tanks do get behind you. You're basically dead because there's nothing you can really do about it. It's like a 183. How if a tank gets behind you, there's not a whole lot you can do. And this tank has 0 armor. So yeah, that's about it to say about the armor profile. The armor on this tank is absolutely awful, and you're going to be getting HE'd by literally everything. Now, there are a couple of consumables that I want to draw your attention to. One of them being improved engine power boost, which I think is a necessity. Like, you definitely want to use this, especially with having 10 reverse speed. getting an extra 10 in reverse when you do pop this consumable here, super, super useful. And it'll help you get out of those bad situations that you can sometimes find yourself in. Another thing I like to run is Shell Reload Boost, which will boost the intra-clip reload, bringing it down by about 30%, which is very, very nice. And it means your whole magazine dumping time to get all of your shells out is significantly reduced, and that's very good. Especially because this thing has no armor, the less time you are sitting in the open, the better. So there you go. And I use, obviously, a multi-purpose repair kit because you do not want to be using all consumables that you won't be able to repair any of your modules with. Especially because this thing will get HE'd by everything. You'll find that some modules will just die on you pretty quickly. You can see here, this is something that everyone playing this tank should be using. I see so many FV4005 players, similar to the Grill, who don't use Spall Liner, and it is one of the dumbest things you could ever do, not running this provision right here. You'll find it in the provisions section. Please use this. It is really good because it reduces 20% of the HE damage you will take. So, how do I play this tank? Well, I camp in it. It's pretty simple. This tank used to be better at camping because it had reticle calibration, which meant that your shells would go exactly where you wanted them to hit. But right now, it doesn't have that anymore. So you do have to be careful with how far you're sitting back, because the farther you do sit back, the less accurate, well, or the less shells you'll actually hit on your opponents. So really do be careful of that. And wow, we do get a very good map for this tank starting off. And because of the size of this tank, it is very, very difficult to position your tank in a place where you won't be getting shot at. Because, yeah, the turret is literally the size of most medium and light tanks. Like, it's ridiculous how big this tank is. And, yeah, it really, really hurts you in a lot of situations. You can see here, look at how damn big this thing is. Like, bruh, what are you supposed to do? Like, you have to hide this thing behind, like, a mountain. But anyways, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide it behind this gigantic rock here, and this is where I will sit for the majority of the battle. Now, unfortunately for me, our light tank is not going medium side, and that's actually really, really bad, because that means that their 907 will have pretty much free reign of medium side, which means that it's a very high chance that we're going to lose this game if we don't do something incredible here. However, looks like their 907 is actually playing like a tank destroyer. I don't know why he's camping in the back. He could have pushed medium side by now and gotten to our side, but, you know, why would you do that? Anyways, we're going to see what we can do. I'm playing extremely passive, like I said. You do not want to be pushing aggressive in this tank whatsoever. You don't have the armor for it, and you will get absolutely deleted. Unfortunately, I thought the 907 was going to be in front of that building, so I figured I would take a shot at him, but he wasn't, so we don't actually hit him. However, he is on like 500 health, so it doesn't really matter anyways, and he kind of threw his tank away for free, I'm not gonna lie. So it's very good for us, not so great for him. So we'll see what we can do. Yeah, I do still think I'm gonna hold my 3 remaining shells. Sometimes I recommend you guys like reload your whole clip, but since I do still have 3 shells left, I might as well just hold them. See if I can get a shell into this 183. That one just goes right over him. However, their SU is sitting in the open, so we're able to get 2 shells into him. That last one low rolls, but you can see even just with 2 shells, we still deal almost 800 damage. Very nice stuff right there. And in about 13 more seconds, I will have some shells for this E75 if he keeps sitting there as well. So very, very nice indeed. However, our 183 decides to just nuke that guy anyways. What in the world is this guy doing? We're going to pop our shell reload boost, and you can see how you shoot faster than you aim in. So sometimes your shells will just be super inaccurate. But that time we actually hit 3 out of the 4 of our shells, so I'm very, very happy about that. And you can see just like that, we're already at 2,000 damage. It's just so easy to pump out damage in this tank when you are able to position it correctly. It's just the matter of positioning it correctly is really, really challenging. Doesn't matter how good you are at the game, you will have games in this thing where you're just going to get absolutely nuked no matter what you do, because enemy players love to just YOLO this thing and HE spam it. So yeah, sometimes there's only so much you can do, but for the most part, it's pretty solid. And you can see there, the gun elevation, I'm not able to hit that 907 when I do angle my tank down like that. So I am, you know what, I'm just going to YOLO this guy. There's already 3 of our tanks are already dead, so I am going to pick up the kill on that 907, and I will reload my clip with the 2 shells that I had in it remaining, because I do want that full clip for tanks like the Grill, if they do end up pushing up here. There he is, he's full health. Or tanks like that Object 777. It's usually good to reload your full clip, unless you know that you will be able to shoot your shells fairly quickly. So yeah, that first time I did hold my 3 shells because I knew that I was going to be able to get at least a couple shells in. And you can see the accuracy is a little bit troll, but we were able to get that 1 shell into him, clearing off the 777, which is very nice. Now, I am probably still spotted, so if I do get nuked by that 183, it's kind of on me. However, it doesn't look like he did that, so that's very, very good. And I'm going to be making my way towards the Grill because I do, of course, want to kill this guy quickly. And we can, in fact, 1-clip him, so that's very nice indeed. However, their 183 is definitely going to be sitting behind the Grill, so yeah, I don't want to be poking him from this angle just yet. I'd rather wait for our tank like our 183 to get nuked by theirs, and then I'll push up and kill the Grill. So that's my plan. Even if you see someone like juicy like the Grill in the open, you still don't want to just be YOLOing towards him because a tank like that 183 can basically one-shot me. So there you go. I'll just wait here. We'll see what happens. If nothing happens in the next while, I am just going to YOLO. There we go. 183 does kill him. Unfortunately, the Grill does get nuked first, but I am at least able to kill him. And just like that, we're already at 3,100 damage, and there is still a 900 HP 183. So I am, of course, going to have my speed boost activated so I can get over to this guy quickly. And you know what? I'll go from the right because it seems like he's just going to YOLO himself over that hill. There we go. He kills our chieftain, but that's okay because I am now going to YOLO him since he has, in fact, shot. Yeah, that was a bit of a skill issue. I thought that I would be able to hit him. And bra moment. I do bounce the 183 because I used the auto aim, which sometimes doesn't work. But even with those skill issue shots at the end there, we were still able to do 3,400 damage. So yeah, in that game, we got a very, very nice map, and we were able to basically camp. And then once we saw that their enemy team was kind of screwed, especially their medium tanks, then I was able to make a move. What you don't want to do is not spot their medium tanks or not have your teammates spot the medium tanks and just full send medium side without any information, because that will get you nuked because medium tanks absolutely bully this thing, especially ones with hull down capabilities. So yeah, basically play this thing very, very passive at the beginning of the game and camp. I know I don't like saying that normally for most tanks, but in this thing you do want to camp. But at least camp in a spot where you can support your team. Don't just sit in spawn like back here where you're not going to be shooting anyone. Try and get yourself into a position where you can actually support the team and be an effective camper. Or as Meadsy calls it, an effective sniper, I guess. But anyways. Hi, Leopard. I literally just realized that Leopard said hi. I was too busy yapping. But anyways, our whole team's going to be going towards the left side, it seems, which is not good. I hate when teams go A because it's basically a higher chance of you losing the battle because of it. But this tank is so big and so easy to take down that I will not be going by myself. So I will be following this IS-8 to A, and it seems like the majority of our team is also going to be going over here. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to poke this corner first, because first of all, I used my speed boost, so my reverse speed is awful. And second of all, I have no armor, so I'm basically going to be the first player anyone on the enemy team will target, because I will be the easiest one to shoot at. So yeah, don't put yourself in a spot where you're going to be able to get nuked, and use your teammates as cover, basically. Use them to, like, let them take the first shot. So yeah, there you go. I let the KPZ take the E100 shell, and now I'll put on my shell reload boost and absolutely nuke this guy. Get all of our shells in, dealing like 1,600 damage. Absolutely insane stuff right there. And yeah, just like that, the E100's only at 600 health. And that's sort of how you want to play this tank. Like I said, use your teammates, let them take the shots first, and then go from there. Because tanks like that E100 can do so much damage to me with their AG that it's just not worth it taking a single shot at all. So, here we have the STR-VK, and bro probably didn't realize that I was over here. So you know what? We'll get our 3 shells right into his side there. And just like that, you can see when you do get your clips out, it's so easy to farm damage in this thing. Like, we're already at 3,000 damage, and the game has not been going on for all that long. So you know what? let's push on up to where this M46 Patton can't really stop me from getting around him. I was hoping to HE him, but it doesn't seem like he's really healthy enough to do that anyways, so, oh well. And all that's left is a Conway and a Object 260. So, we're at 3,200 damage, and we'll see how much more we can get out with these last 3 shells, because I'm expecting these will be the last 3 shells I get out this whole game, due to the fact that our whole our whole team is basically still alive. So, yeah, once I get this out, my reload will be too long to get any more shells out, but we'll see. So there we go. Get all 3 of them out, and just like that, we're at 4,500 damage. The Conway's probably going to shoot me again, probably with HE. Oh, never mind, he's dead. That's cool. Well, all that's left is the 260, and I have no idea where he went. But, if I had to guess, he's probably... I want to say on medium side, simply because our whole team is kind of covered. Oh, he's by B. Wait, what? Bro, what? I'm so confused. I don't know where this guy is anymore. I thought he was going to be over at C, but apparently he's near B somehow. Oh, full HP as well. Ooh, wait a minute. Can I get some more damage out? Please, 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 please. Don't nuke him, teammates. Please, I need some HP here. There we go. 1 into you, 2 into you, and 3 and 4. Look at that. We deal 6,200 damage. Just because we were able to get that last clip out onto the 260. So yeah, a very, very nice battle for this tank. And yeah, I mean, that was just like super easy. Not much else to say about this tank. It's pretty fun when it does work. However, like I said, this tank is so hit or miss. The majority of times you will not be doing 6,300 damage. And we do actually ace it that game. So why not? Let's play another game and see what will happen. So yeah, 4005. I like the tank a lot. I think it's super unique in how it plays because of the fact you have to sit in the open for a long time to actually get your clip out. So it's pretty fun to actually have to figure out how to position yourself in a way that you won't be getting targeted by everyone. And you'll be like able to farm enemy tanks. And yeah, so super fun tank to play, but it's extremely difficult to do well in. And I don't recommend it for newer players whatsoever. And yeah. Just like that, we're in our 3rd battle, Lagoon. Now, let's see what we can do. We do have 2 BOPE players in Platoon in very cringe tanks, the Yo and the 113 GFT. That's not going to be very fun to deal with. So what I'm going to do is I will make my way... See, I would go heavy side. Yeah, I'm going to go heavy side. It's so interesting because sometimes I will just go medium side to clip out their mediums super fast. But in this case, because they have a cringe tank destroyer... and a lot of heavily armored tanks like that Mouse and E100, I might as well support my couple of heavies over here instead by sitting in this TD spot here. So, we'll see if actually, wait a minute. None of them look to be over here. Oh, wait, never mind. I take that back. I was going to say, it doesn't look like any of their team is actually over here. However, it looks like their 2 super heavies went by themselves. So, I'm going to get this teammate here. This guy should probably start pushing up. And we really just need to clear these guys quickly because right now they are holding off the majority of our team while the rest of our mediums and stuff are kind of just suffering on the other side of the map here. So we're going to get a couple of shells hopefully into this Mouse here. Unfortunately, one of them does bounce, but we do get the other 3 out. So we're already at 1,100 damage. And what I just need is this E100 to poke this guy, deal his shell of damage into him. Oh my god, my voice is literally dying right now. And then this I-7 hopefully will kill him. Come on, I-7. Yes, very nice indeed. And just like that, the E100 did in fact shoot. So what I'm going to do is, yes, nice job, teammate. We're going to try and track him in place there. We do in fact get the 2nd tracking shell into him, meaning that we get most of our shells into him. And wow, we actually hit that 4th shell into his turret there. That was very lucky indeed. Now, we are down, I was going to say 2 tanks, but we're actually down 3 tanks now. And I don't know why our team is even bothering to push this. They're basically making us lose the game by pushing that because, yeah, it's not going to be very good. Seeing as they're in the open, just kind of YOLOing around. We do bounce the T-22 for whatever reason. I mean, I do kind of understand because that tank has really stupid armor. But, yeah, bounce the T-22 twice. This E5 is kind of just blocking me, so I can't do anything. And let's see if we can at least get 2 shells into this T-22. There we go. We hit him twice. We do get shot at by their WZ, but this game is going to be a loss anyways, so it doesn't really matter. And their T-22 is probably going to try and flank me, so I'm going to get myself into a spot where I can't be flanked completely, like from the rear, because I'm hoping to kill him before he can actually do anything, because I'd like to get at least another clip out, ideally. So, our team this game was just absolutely awful, and there was nothing much I could even do about it. So that's kind of how the 4005's that's its downside, is it's very team dependent, and if your team does in fact suck, then there's not much you can really do about it. So we're able to get at least 3 shells out, and we do deal 4,700 damage with that. So yeah, not a bad third game. Unfortunately for me, my team was pretty crap. So we do end up losing, and actually we deal almost 5,000 damage for that third and final game because we did get a fire on the T-22. You can see, look at how awful this team was. Oh yes, that's a 52%er? Bro, what? What? Okay. Well, but you can see there, obviously their tune did well. But anyways, that's basically the 4005 for you. It's a glass cannon, and there's not much else to it. You have 0 armor everywhere. The entire turret can get HE'd, so really be careful as to where you are positioning your tank, because even the slightest move aggressive towards like heavy tanks with lots of alpha, you're going to get deleted, and it's super, super easy to do badly in this tank. But overall, super fun tank. Only pick this thing up if you think you are able to play tanks with no armor, or if you are good at the game and you feel like something different is in store for you. Anyways, for any of you out there who are not yet subscribed to my channel, I highly recommend you do so, as it's a fantastic way to support the content I make, as well as stay up to date when I post videos almost daily. Yes, almost daily. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.